Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. I want to welcome you back to the channel. Before we get too far into this, I just have to say thank you guys. I sure do appreciate all the great comments and the kind words, and I never dreamt in a million years that this channel would blow up as fast as it has. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in and watching. For those of you that have subscribed already, you know, man, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that as well. For those of you that haven't yet, I'd sure appreciate it if you would. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up for me if you would, please. Maybe go ahead and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming future videos. But again, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. So with that being said, let's just jump right into this. I was asked for a good friend of mine up in northwest Iowa, Ryan Osman, to go over some fox stuff. He wants to try to catch his very first fox this year. So I thought that's what I'd do for y'all this morning. Now, a lot of my coyote methods that you've seen in some of my past videos, you can incorporate right in to catch fox just as easy as not. So you know, some of those older videos of mine you might want to go back and watch because the information is still there. But we've got a few things that we'll go over this morning on the red fox, and stay with me, guys. We'll be back in just a minute. All right, guys, now here's that trench style dirt hole that I love to use so much. Again, same thing as what I shown in earlier videos. Just a little more guiding this time. I've got a big old black rock laid up there. Now the key to this thing is, though, you want to leave the inside of that trench pretty rough. You don't want them stepping up in there, and especially the red fox. You want to keep them back in here. And then I use, since I run long chains a lot, instead of trying to bury all my chain or my drag, which I use a lot too, instead of trying to bury it all under here, I just bury it all up here on top in the dirt that I've dug out. Now, you can use drags on red fox, that's fine. Generally, though, speaking, they're not going to go away. They're going to still be right here. But if you have coyotes in your area, if you have bobcats in your area, and you want to save the integrity of your set, you can sure enough use a drag. But like I said, a little red fox, gray fox especially, they're not going to get that drag up and get gone with it. They're going to still be right here. Now, a raccoon, he'll get it and go over yonder somewhere because he is a lot stronger than what that little fox is. And fox tend to worry a drag across the ground rather than get up and get going with it. So, you know, if a red fox did get off a ways, you're going to be able to see the drag marks pretty easily if the conditions are right. Because, as I said, they worry a drag across the ground instead of getting up and get going fast with it. But anyway, just a step down trench set, like I've shown in the other videos, will sure enough catch red fox, same as they will coyote, same as they will bobcat, same as they will coon. Now, I would recommend, if you're targeting red fox, I would drop down to a number 2 size trap if you have coyotes in the area. If you're in one of the lucky places in the country that doesn't have coyotes, which I really don't know where that would be at this time, then you can get by with a 1.5 or a 1 3/4 or something of that sort. Just make sure you've got a good backing. They're not going to work up around. They're going to stay down in here in this trench where you want them. All right, guys. Now here's a set that Herb Lennon developed back in the 30s, I would say. Don't know that to be exact, but I'm guessing. And he called it his weatherproof set. And he would dig the dirt hole at an uphill angle in a bank. He would dig it at an uphill angle so that the water would run off. Now, when he bedded his trap here, everything would be back in dead level, okay? So the water didn't pool here. Everything would be back dead level. And then of course you would, you know, put some guides in and blocking to make the fox step there, and then put a little rough up in here to discourage the fox or the coyote from stepping up in there, which they're generally not going to. You've got some natural guiding in here, pretty rough up in there, pretty uncomfortable for a fox to stand right there. So anyway, you know, there's terraces and hills and mounds all over the entire country. So this set can go in, you know, anywhere that you want to put it. But anyway, that's just another little deal for you. Another little version of a dirt hole that you can use if you catch a lot of rain, if you catch a lot of snow. Generally speaking, these places will stay pretty well windswept for you, so the snow doesn't pile up in here on you too bad. Just a nice little neat little deal that you can use. All right, and then again we've got our black block here for our flat set. You can see where the bed would be dug. If I was targeting fox only, I would move on up in there a little closer. I would bring the block back a little bit closer to the bed, which the trap would be buried here. Maybe move your blocking up in here on the sides. And then I would lay a dropping out here on the outside edge of a jaw, of the jaw, to encourage that walk-through effect. Shot of gland lure, shot of urine, maybe freshen up the dropping with a little urine if it happened to be an old one. And that would be the completed set there. Now the black block is nothing more than a burnt, charred piece of wood. That's all it is. You can make these at home without any problem. Now Herb Lennon was good for using a 2x2 stake, and he would just throw them in his trap die and drill a hole in the end of them and drive those in, and that would be considered his black block. But it kept your lure up, you know, up a little high. And then not only the reason he did that as well, and John Ian was good for putting his bait and lure in a tin can and smashing the mouth of it shut and putting it down a dirt hole. Bill Nelson was good about putting his on wool and such, and that way they did that for a reason. So when they pulled those sets, they could take their bait and lure with them. That way the fox and the coyotes did not get habituated to that smell. You guys that are leaving your bait and lure over the season, through the entire summer, and then you go back into that area and you use that same bait and lure again, the wow factor is gone. Those fox and those coyotes have smelled it. They've played with it all summer long. Even the pups, they're done. The curiosity and the wow factor of that bait and lure is completely gone now. So when you go to pull, you need to take your bait and lure with you. I get that question and I get those comments all the time. My lure's not working for me, so I have to switch. Well, yeah, there's a reason why it's not working for you. The ones that you left, the fox, the coyotes that you left there, have already smelled it. They've already played with it. You've satisfied their curiosity. It's nothing new to them anymore. Now, I get the same question. A lot of guys, they want to come in and they want to pre-dig their holes and they want to pre-bake their sets, which is a great idea. If you can do that, I highly recommend it, but I would cover them up with something so they're not standing out. And not only that, but by covering them up, you create the curiosity effect. Could be a white bucket lid, could be a piece of cardboard, or not cardboard, but plywood, something to keep the weather off of it. Then they've seen that out there for the last 3 weeks, month maybe, beforehand. Now you go in there and you take that away. Now they've seen it, And they know it's there. And then when you come in and take it away, when the day you come in and set those traps, it's like, wow, where did that go? I know it was there, so where did it go? They have to come over and look. When they come over and look, you've got them in the vicinity. Now it's up to you to do the rest. Take your bait and lure with you when you leave. I can't stress that enough. Don't leave it there all season. Don't leave it out there through the summer. Make sure that you take it with you so that you continue to create the wow factor. You want that insane moment. Okay, that's enough of my preaching. We'll get on with it here. Okay, I got off on a tangent there, and there's one more thing that I want to bring up about that, taking your bait and lure with you. I started to say it, and then I got sidetracked. When you go in, and if you want to go in and pre-bait or pre-bait your holes, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, but I would caution you to not use commercial bait, commercial lure. I would use something like fish oil. I would use cooking grease from a restaurant. They'll give that stuff to you by the buckets. I would use something of that sort. Do not use a commercial bait and lure when you're out here pre-baiting these places up. Okay, enough of that. We'll go on. All right, guys, and there's the other set. That trench set that I showed before. You can dig these in. You can scatter that. They work really well along 2-track roads because you can scatter the dirt across the road. Holds a lot of eye appeal. You got the skull back in there. Lure up the nose cavity or lure and bait up the spinal column cavity in the back of the skull. Again, a tremendous fox taker, tremendous coyote taker for you. These sets will work just about anywhere you want to. All right, guys, I know that was kind of a fast little deal and more of a review over some of the stuff that I've already gone over, but for maybe some of you that haven't tuned in before, hopefully it'll help some of you. Again, guys, man, I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for tuning into this channel and for blowing it up like you have. I can't be any more happier. Again, thank y'all that have already subscribed. I sure do appreciate it. Once again, this is Dale Billingsley with another one, signing out.